Right now, we have an important statement from our president. I have just spoken with Donald Trump. We had a long conversation about the possibilities of achieving peace, about our readiness to work together at the team level, about our technological capabilities, including drones and other modern production. I am grateful to President Trump for his interest. We discussed our conversation with Scott Bessent and the preparation of our new agreement on security and economic and resource cooperation. President Trump briefed me on the details of his conversation with Putin. Ukraine wants peace mostly. We are defining our joint steps with the USA to stop Russian aggression and guarantee a reliable, lasting peace. As President Trump said, let's get it done. Let's get it done. As far as I understand the translation. We agreed on further contacts and meetings. So friends, this statement by our president says at least a few important things, namely that the speed of this statement indicates the speed of these negotiations. Recently, we have been watching Trump for a very long time, saying that I will stop this war literally in one day. Once the inauguration is over, I will stop the war. Now, Trump said, maybe it won't work in one day. It will probably take several months. And we can see that these statements were not the last ones made by Trump. He said that I want to end the war very quickly. He keeps repeating this. What does this tell us? It tells us that he is following through with his plan. He says he wants to end the war quickly, and he is acting quickly. Although it may seem at first glance that Trump cannot really do anything, that Putin cannot be pressured, that the speed of the war's resolution does not really depend on Trump. We can agree with some of this, but Trump has a great toolkit. And we see how this toolkit is working, and we see that Trump's desire to end everything quickly is being realized. Yes, the war is still ongoing. We cannot and should not relax. This would be a fatal mistake. But if we are talking exclusively about the geopolitical picture, exclusively about how fast everything is happening, it is obvious that Trump's methodology is working. Trump's tools are working. Otherwise, how can we explain what our president has already said about Trump, informing him about his conversation with Putin? That is, contacts and preparations are underway. Yes, it is impossible to end such a complex war so quickly. We as a country are fighting not only with Russia, but also with our partners for the conditions under which this war will end and what Ukraine will get. This is not a question of reparations, but of security. We do not want a repeat of the war. We want to be a strong Ukraine. We know exactly what we need for this, the NATO alliance. But the NATO alliance is not waiting for us there. Today, the president emphasized the importance of building and growing our own army. I think that what we saw today, not only all these Trump-Putin, Trump-Zelensky conversations, but the fact that there were agreements about our resources in exchange for weapons, they support this initiative and these words of the president that there will be cooperation, drone cooperation. Obviously, the United States has a lot to offer us. Of course, we are all wondering what exactly will be in this agreement in the exchange of rare earth resources for weapons. What kind of weapons? If it's ammunition, it's nothing. And if it's tomahawks, it will be an interesting conversation. So there are actually a lot of questions, and we will move on, because in fact, the news does not end there. I want to accommodate everything that is being discussed as much as possible, and will try to do so and give guidance on what is happening. We also have news that Trump spoke about a conversation with our president. Now let's look at how this conversation was viewed by Trump himself. Quote, "I have just spoken with the president of Ukraine. The conversation was constructive. Like Putin, he wants peace." Trump found something in common between Putin and our president. The main topic is meeting on Friday in Munich with Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio. I hope for positive results. It's time to stop this senseless war that is causing massive casualties and destruction. God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine. Dear friends, we have been saying on our broadcasts for several days now that there will be many disturbing statements that we will not like. As soon as Trump came to power, was inaugurated, and said the things he said, we understood that it would be difficult. It would be difficult. And of course, some of the statements that Trump makes, the way he tries to act as a dove of peace, to unite and to pretend that nothing happened, are extremely painful for us. But Trump obviously sees this as the only way to end the war. He wants to end it all, relatively speaking, and he has a certain opportunity to do so. And he is acting within the framework of these possibilities. And if Trump had said that Russia is very bad, it is the worst thing that can be in a person, in our human species, then, of course, the dialogue would probably have failed. That's why we see such, very soft rhetoric. This soft rhetoric is parallel to what we hear from the Trump team. They tell us so. We know which one of you is the bad guy. We understand exactly who is the victim and who is the aggressor. But they have a goal: to end the war. They are pressing Putin somewhere, and somewhere they are making concessions themselves. We said that this would be an unpleasant journey for us, and it is important to focus not on emotions, but on practical results, because now it is important to understand the conditions under which all this will end. Will Ukraine have enough forces and capabilities to prevent the next war? Only a strong Ukraine can stop Putin from going again. And a strong Ukraine is, of course, our partners. These are the partners who can take the burden of responsibility, financially and militarily, to prevent bloodshed in the future. And all this is happening against the backdrop of many more such statements this week. Watch Channel 24. We keep our finger on the pulse, analyze with the best experts and political